I spent a fortune on gifts for my nieces and nephews, only for their mom to call me out for not doing enough. That pushed me to a breaking point, and I decided to cut them off completely. Now they're pleading with me to reconsider. Growing up, my parents drilled into me that I had to provide for the family when I got older. I dreamed of earning big and showering my loved ones with gifts and support. I worked hard in school, paid over half the rent as a teenager, but never got a heartfelt thank you from my parents. Deep down, I sensed something was off, but I craved their approval so much that I ignored it. Fast forward to now. I'm 29, and last Christmas, I felt on top of the world. For the first time in years, I could afford gifts for everyone: my parents, my sister Lily, her husband Mark, and their 3 kids. I even bought extras to avoid sibling squabbles, and some spares in case of surprise guests. I thought this was what family was supposed to feel like. But then came the gut punch. I pulled up to my parents' house, car packed with presents, expecting a warm welcome. Instead, when I knocked, my mom opened the door and said, "We think it's best if you don't come in this year." I thought it was a joke and started to laugh. But then Lily shouted from the dining room, "This isn't a party for stingy people. You're such a letdown lately." I froze, stunned. My dad stood in the corner, silent. Mom looked mortified, but didn't intervene. Lily, though, seemed to relish the moment. I felt a wave of emotions: shock, anger, shame, but just nodded and said, "If that's how you all feel," before walking back to my car, surrounded by unwanted gifts. They called me stingy, a letdown. Where was this coming from? A sick feeling hit me, and I suspected Lily was orchestrating this, though I couldn't pin down why. I asked myself, if I were Lily's brother-in-law, would I value me? My mind flashed to times I'd paid for the kids' sports fees, contributed to their family trips, and even helped with their mortgage down payment. Hell yes, I'd value me. That's when I let myself get mad, really mad. I marched back to the house. My parents were murmuring, surprised I hadn't left. Lily was lounging, scrolling Instagram with the volume blaring. "What's going on?" I demanded. "Why am I suddenly persona non grata?" Lily smirked, not looking up. "You think we haven't noticed you've been slacking? The kids have barely gotten anything from you lately." Her words stung worse than a slap. I raised my voice. "Are you serious? I've got hundreds of dollars in gifts for your kids in my car." She cut me off. "Don't bother. A few years ago, you did way more. This is just embarrassing." I looked to my parents for backup. Mom gave a weak smile and said, "She's not wrong, honey. You just got that new SUV. You found money for that." I was floored. "The SUV's financed," I said, trying to stay calm. "And even if I paid cash, why am I responsible for Lily's family? They're not my kids." Lily leaned back casually. "You make way more than Mark. Family supports family." I glanced at Mark, who sat quietly in the corner. "So, because I've helped before, I'm obligated forever? And if I don't, I'm a cheapskate?" Lily shrugged. "If that's how you want to spin it." That was it. I shook my head. "You're right. I don't belong here." I looked at my parents. "Merry Christmas." I left without waiting for a reply. The drive home was tense, my hands gripping the wheel. I almost doubted myself, wondering if I was the bad guy. But sitting in my driveway, staring at the wrapped gifts, it hit me. This had been brewing for years. Christmas was just the final straw. Lily had leaned on me financially since she and Mark got married. Mark struggled with unsteady jobs, and Lily's part-time gig barely covered essentials. I stepped in, thinking it was temporary. $500 here, $1,000 there, but it became a pattern. I'd enabled Lily's dependence, and now it was biting me. That night, I decided, no more bailing them out, no more gifts to cover their irresponsibility. I was done. Cutting off Lily meant risking my relationship with her, the kids, and maybe my parents. But I couldn't keep being their ATM instead of their brother and uncle. No one reached out after Christmas, and I didn't either. I thought they'd gotten the message, but Lily wasn't one to let go easily. The silence lasted through New Year's. For the first time, I spent the holidays alone. I felt odd when my phone stayed quiet at midnight on New Year's Eve. I considered calling, but remembered Lily's smug face and her stingy jab. I'd been their safety net for years, and they treated me like garbage. No way. By late January, things shifted. Mark, always the quiet one, texted me out of the blue. "I'm sorry about Christmas. I didn't agree with it. Lily won't listen, but I wanted you to know." I appreciated it, but his silence that night made his apology feel hollow. I replied, "Thanks, Mark, but this isn't something I can just forget." He didn't push further. In early March, Lily showed up at my place unannounced, banging on the door while I was on a work call. I tried ignoring it, but the knocking was relentless. When I opened the door, she stormed in. "We need to talk," she said. "You need to stop this petty nonsense and help us again." I laughed in disbelief. "Help? You mean bankroll your life? I'm done." She glared. "You've got money to burn. Do you know how tough it's been since you threw this fit? The kids are suffering, and Mark's barely holding it together." I couldn't believe her gall. "You're an adult, Lily. You and Mark have kids. If you need money, get better jobs. It's not my job to fix your life." She snapped. "You've always helped before. Why are you so selfish now?" "Selfish?" I shot back. "You lied to our parents, turned them against me, and kicked me out of Christmas for not giving enough. Now you're here demanding more? That's some nerve." She tried to interrupt, but I cut her off. "We're done. No more money, and I don't want to hear from you until you grow up." She stormed out, fuming. I thought that was the end, but a week later, I got a call from an unknown number. "Is this Alex?" a woman asked. "I'm Karen Thompson, an attorney. I represent a client regarding financial issues involving your family. Can we meet?" My heart sank. Was Lily pulling something shady? Had she taken loans in my name? "Who's your client?" I asked. "I can't say over the phone." "But you're not being sued. It's an informational meeting." Curiosity won, and I agreed to meet. At Karen's office, she dropped a bombshell. "My client is Mark," she said, handing me a folder. "He believes Lily's been misusing the money you've given them." My stomach churned. "Misusing how?" She showed me bank statements, receipts, and texts. "Mark suspects Lily's been funneling your contributions into a secret account for personal spending. Luxury shopping, weekend getaways, things like that." I stared at the documents, stunned. The money I thought went to bills and the kids was funding Lily's splurges. Transfers matched my emergency contributions, followed by withdrawals to an account in Lily's name for designer clothes, spa trips, and a getaway with someone named Sarah, who Mark didn't know. "Unbelievable," I muttered. "Mark just found this out?" Karen nodded. "He got suspicious but only recently saw mail with her private account details. That's when he contacted me." I asked, "What does he want me to do? Press charges?" She shook her head. "He's focused on protecting himself and the kids, but he thought you deserved to know, especially since Lily's been pressuring you." I laughed bitterly. "She showed up last week demanding I help again." Karen nodded. "That tracks with what Mark said. Lily's feeling the pinch since you stopped giving." I asked, "What's Mark planning?" She hesitated. "He's considering his options, possibly separation, to shield himself and the kids." That hit hard. Mark always seemed loyal to Lily, so if he was thinking of leaving, things were bad. I called Mark that night. It was awkward at first, but he opened up. "I should have spoken up at Christmas," he said. "I've never been good at standing up to Lily, but that's no excuse." "Why now?" I asked. He paused. "The kids deserve better. I do too. And so do you, after all you've done." I told him, "Whatever you decide, I've got your back." We talked longer, and I felt a strange calm. Lily had burned her bridge, but Mark and the kids weren't my enemies. A few weeks later, Mark texted, "We're leaving this weekend." He explained he was taking the kids to his sister's in another state, while Lily was visiting a friend, likely another spending spree. He was packing essentials and securing legal protection. I can't keep pretending everything's fine, he said. The kids see more than we think. I asked about moving costs. He hesitated. I hate to ask, but could you help until I get my first paycheck? Say no more, I said. Tell me what you need. I helped Mark and the kids relocate, and it felt different. Genuine, not like I was being used. Lily lost it when she came back to an empty house, calling me in a rage, accusing me of turning Mark against her and ruining her life. I let her vent, then said, maybe if you spent less on yourself and more on your family, this wouldn't have happened. Good luck. I hung up. Mark's doing well now, with a steady job. The kids are settling into their new school, and he's rebuilding his confidence. Lily's still blaming everyone but herself. My parents, after learning the truth, apologized for siding with her at Christmas. I'm just relieved to be free of the burden. Some family ties are worth keeping, others just bleed you dry.